But to that, it's all about glucose sensing for us. So our desire is to have open connectivity, have a replacement category that you don't have to prick your finger to dose insulin. So we need to stay mission focused.
And you're a sensing company right now, no pumps. And talk to me, please, about the Insulet and Tandem partnerships. Could you see partnership with a company that also provides the pump, or?
Well, we do today have 4 pump partnerships. Obviously, we have the first one being Johnson & Johnson Animas. That product is called the Vibe, which should be released later this year in the United States. It's been available in Europe for about 2.5 years. Next up is Tandem. As you mentioned, they have filed their PMA on the T-Slim, incorporating G4 into the technology. Insulet, we signed an agreement with some time ago. We renewed that agreement most recently. And then, of course, Asante, this week we announced a partnership with them as well.
So let's go over some of the financials based on your earnings. Are you seeing the European market pick up? It's, the depression, and are you seeing any hope there?
Yeah, I mean, they more than doubled their sales.
Wow.
So we have historically said they've run just under 10% of our overall revenue. They were 13% for the second quarter, so we're quite happy to see the robustness. They're starting to get more reimbursement in Europe for CGM. We're happy to see that. So it is a booming market for us.
And your huge 64% revenue growth over last year, that was just because it's an underpenetrated market, right? You still have a lot. Your growth is going to be coming from penetrating the market more, as opposed to some key new product that's not. Yes, the Gen 5 will be nice and better, but you would still grow with your current devices, probably.
Oh, absolutely. I think that since the launch of the G4 on a quarter-per-quarter basis, we've grown actually 66% over that period of time. We see still a lot of upside just with the G4. Record patient adds in the second quarter. We expect that to continue throughout the rest of the year.
And what's your strategy to help those doctors who are not referring now refer more?
Well, it's two-pronged. One, we've increased our sales force. We have just under 100 people in the field, so we've got good coverage geographically. And the second is not going to DTC or direct-to-consumer, but certainly broadening our electronic outreach to patients so that they're more demanding, that they're going in and saying, I want this product. And this is a very well-educated population, obviously. So we're taking advantage of that, and the more awareness that comes about, both at the patient level as well as the physician level, drives adoption.
And do you have the facilities now? Will you have to be building a new manufacturing plant, or what's going on?
No, we're lucky. We're still under-absorbed in terms of the amount of capacity. So when we moved to Gen 4 from Gen 3, we increased our capacity to about 4 million sensors a year from about 1 million. In our same footprint, we have the ability to go up to about 8 million sensors without having to go to a new manufacturing facility. So we're quite happy with that situation. Now, ultimately, we're going to look for another manufacturing in addition to the core manufacturing. Obviously, we're in Southern California. Risk mitigation says we probably should put a manufacturing plant someplace else sometime in the future, but nothing soon.
And lastly, if you could talk about the next major development, new product, will be the Gen 5.
It'll be the Gen 5.
And the FDA status of that is what?
We'll file that with FDA towards the end of the year or early in the first quarter of 2015. And that's taking the brains of the glucose engine out of the receiver, incorporating it into the transmitter, which is a body-worn transmitter, which allows that open connectivity to a smartphone or anything that is Bluetooth enabled. So that's the next major launch. And then, of course, from that, as an example, that allows us to have a parent monitor a child remotely, because that information is being ported to our server, and then in a push notification goes to the parent. Actually, we developed an app that up to 5 people can follow a single patient on their phone.
You just raised a question, a thought I just had, and that is Google and even Apple, these large companies, are very interested in getting into the healthcare market, and they're doing that through devices and apps, very much like what you described. Do you envision partnering with Google?
I would say right now, more Apple than Google. We are actually an Apple developer. We are close with them. We're generating our new apps on the iOS 8 system that they've recently launched, so more to come on that as we move further down the approval process.
Very interesting. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.